Today on the channel, we're looking at Cyclops from the Marvel's Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another X-Men Marvel Legends review. This time, we've got X-Factor Cyclops in his original X-Factor outfit, the blue and gold. Also, Iceman had a blue and gold original X-Factor outfit as well, but we'll probably never get that. But this is the original version before he switched to the blue and white one. And it's all good. I actually bought this figure because I wanted the blast effects. And I love X-Factor. I was reading X-Factor almost all the way up until, and really even after, they switched the team up in the Jim Lee era. I was even reading that one. So, when Peter David started writing it. But in Marvel Legends, the X-Factor original OG X-Men as X-Factor is all over the place. And I have very little confidence that they're going to get to all of them in what I would call anywhere near a timely fashion. So when I saw this Cyclops, I honestly didn't really want to get it. However, in their infinite wisdom, Hasbro this time decided to give him some new blast effects. And when I say infinite, oh shit. And when I say infinite wisdom, I'm not being facetious because that was the only way they were going to get me to buy this. So, love Cyclops as a character, have multiple Cyclopses in my collection, but this is one that I probably would skip normally because I'm never going to be able to complete that roster. Or at least, I hope I don't know. I'm not trying to say I ever want to stop collecting here action figures, but it's going to take a long time for them to get to all of those guys, and it's never going to really be complete. That's just how I feel about it. So this version of Cyclops will soon be accompanied by the original X-Factor version of Jean Grey, and I still don't have any confidence in it. You will need the Beast in his blue and red human with a mask version outfit, the blue and yellow Iceman I already mentioned, Angel in a red and white X-Factor costume as Angel. The only other really guy you have from X-Factor as X-Factor when they were still wearing the original outfits, wasn't even really a member at that time, is Archangel. So, it's just difficult. So, I don't want to keep going on and on about that, but that's sort of the mindset of why, this figure isn't as highly anticipated by me as other Cyclopses might be. But I love blast effects, and so that was enough to push it over the edge. That I said, you know what, I'll just go ahead and grab him. It's probably going to be the only figure from this wave that I even get. Maybe Marrow. Maybe I'll get Marrow. Another character. Marrow is actually a character I don't really care about, but she does have the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 connection. So, there's some value there for me anyway. So without further ado, we're going to get into the packaging, get Cyclops out, play around with him a little bit. And we do have one comparison for him. So hopefully I've done almost all of the fluff talking that needs to be done, and we can get quickly to the rest of the video. So here's the package. X-Men, Cyclops, Build-A-Figure, Marvel's Nemesis, aka Holocaust. X-Men got Cyclops in there. 2 heads, 2 hands. So you can see his blast effects, and he's got an arm to Nemesis. On the side, you got some classic Cyclops from early issues of X Factor artwork. Looks like they're fighting the right there. Another early Cyclops from X Factor picture. Cyclops, a leader of the X-Men. Cyclops becomes a founder of a new team called X Factor after being reunited with Jean Grey. I like how he's got a bloody nose. Cyclops, got some Cyclops art on the side. Back to the front. And of course, we are in the new Universal packaging that's going across all the lines and everything. So you got that. All right, so that's enough about the package. We're going to get Cyclops out and check him out. All right, so we've got Cyclops out of the package with his accessories. Some of them are the customary accessories you expect with Cyclops. I'm referring to the Optic Blast controlling hand. You got this other, also somewhat Optic Blast controlling hand. And you got a alternate head that allows for the blast effect to be inserted. And then you have the blast effect, which is almost like the customary blast effect, but they've changed it. It's got a little connection piece that you can put on here for the secondary part, which is sort of like almost like a comic book panel type of deal. Looks cool. We're going to see how that works. And as for Cyclops himself, he's on a straight body, just with X-Men deco, and it looks like he's on the Vulcan body. So, he's okay. Looks like the last Cyclops in height and stature, except that one was a modified Vulcan body. And I mean, by last Cyclops, I mean Astonishing X-Men. So, you got that. Looking at the alternate head, he's shooting an optic blast. It's most likely going to be the head we're going to be going with. And I already pointed out the hands. So we're not going to waste too much time on this. I'm going to go ahead and attach the optic blast to the other piece of the optic blast. It's very simple. There's a kind of a groove there to sort of lock it in. And so what you get is sort of that. And it's like he's blasting something. I don't know if it's what I expected, but it's not bad. So what we're gonna find out for sure is if it's going to require a stand for him to be able to support this, which is probably the big fear, if anything. But it looks cool enough from here. First thing we're gonna do, pop on the other head. There's no satisfying snap. It just sort of went on. And as I suspected, as long as you angle him back far enough, he can actually support the optic blast. I realize that is a super vanilla pose, but looks good. I think I'm going to use this hand just for variety, because again, it does still look like he's controlling the visor. You can use this as a visor controlling hand. So there you go. That is sort of Cyclops shooting an optic blast with the impact piece on it. Maybe you can make him look up at the air a little bit. See, that's going to cause a balance issue. It works out pretty good. Can't really see his face because, well, it's a pretty big piece, but it works. It looks pretty cool. I don't know. Probably looked cooler on the on the live stream and everything than it does in real life. So you can see kind of from the side what it looks like. There you go. Okay, so there you go. Now we're going to do a comparison of this Cyclops with the other Cyclops. Here he is with, well, himself in his much later astonishing X-Men outfit. And that one, he's got heeled boots rather than regular, like, superhero sock boots. I am using currently on this one the head from the House of X Cyclops, because since the visor is more or less the same color as the astonishing one, you want the astonishing one to be able to shoot optic blast, because they didn't give him optic blast to shoot. You you can use this one. So the test, of course, is going to be, hey, will this one work with this Cyclops? And they said it would. And, well, looks like it kind of does. So setting him up so that he's blasting where it doesn't fall off. Just gotta give him a little bit of balance, but that pretty much works. I'm gonna say that's a pass. So there you go. This is a quick and dirty one. That's your comparison. I can actually move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on Marvel Legends Nemesis Build-A-Figure Wave Cyclops. Well, it's a Cyclops. Cyclops is one of my favorite X-Men. Certainly top 5 very easily. I feel like, though, that this outfit is just gonna cause you to wait a long time for a team that they may never get around to. You need upwards of 5 beasts to really complete X Factor. You need really 2 Icemans to complete X Factor. Like, you need Iceman with the ice power regulation belt. You need Iceman as Bobby Drake, which they never do. And he had 2 different outfits. Beast had 3 or 4 different outfits. I mean, it's crazy. They're just never going to finish it. So it's cool that it's a Cyclops, but the main draw to the figure is the blast effects that you can then, you know, customize with your other Cyclops figures in your collection. He is on a Vulcan body. He's on an updated body, and that's all good. The Vulcan body has been around since 2022, so it's kind of old hat at this point. But he looks cool. It's nice to have him. I'm going to give him an 8. It's a good ranking, mainly for the blast effects. And if you're going to collect Nemesis, Nemesis is a cool character. I'm not going to collect Nemesis. I'm going to be a lot more judicious with my Marvel Legends purchasing, but I am happy with the blast effects. So there you go. So that's going to do it for this one. Stay tuned for more Marvel Legends, of course. We've got more coming. And if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We're obviously trying to build up our little space in the action figure YouTube, market, if you will. And we'd love to have you along for the ride. Till next time, everybody, stay safe, happy collecting. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.